You may have seen my stocking filler gift idea, and this one contains 10 gift ideas for people who sew slightly more expensive than the items mentioned in my other video. If you haven't checked out that video, I will link that down in the description box below. That's stocking filler ideas. This one is slightly more expensive, and I've tried my best to find things that are not on Amazon, so this time of year, to support other businesses. Some of them are independent, some of them may be chain stores, but I've tried to steer away from Amazon. I'm not anti-Amazon, but sometimes it's good at this time of year if that money can be spread around to other people. In my family, everybody buys for children in the family, so I don't really have adults who buy for me, other than if I ask my husband to buy something and then he buys it for me. So if you are the same, there's no shame in buying things for yourself or emailing somebody you know or loved one the link to this video as a hint for them to actually buy something that you'll find really useful. Gift number 1, and that is a really good pair of scissors or a rotary cutter. I have had some fabric scissors which I've used, which came free with a machine, which I don't even own. That was several machines ago, and they're not great, but I do own a pair of really good quality scissors. Now, I have a pair of scissors, dressmaking scissors, that my parents bought me these when I was 15. We went to the Sheffield Steel Museum, and I don't know if this is sexist, but my parents bought my brother's penknives and they bought me some dressmaking scissors. But they have that really satisfying snip to them. Now, I'm not 15 anymore, so these have lasted a good number of years. I have had them sharpened a few years ago, but after making my wool coat last year, that has blunted them a little bit, so they are due to be sharpened again. But when I compare, so this is the pair that I had free with a sewing machine. They're not sharp on the tip. It just gives you that satisfying snip, but it also means that you can, if you want to cut notches and things, this will not cut a notch because they're too rounded, they're cheapy scissors. So this is a really good investment to have. Now, if you are team rotary cutter rather than scissors, that's fine. There are a range of rotary cutters and mats as well, and the cost can add up if you're buying it yourself. Sometimes, you can have a basic one, but if you want one with a nice grip on it, and those the cutting mats come in all sorts of sizes. So if you want to go for a really large one, so you haven't got to keep moving it around when you cut pieces out, it's quite an investment and it's something extra special. So I'd say for this time of year, in the season of giving gifts or receiving gifts, that is a really good thing. And there are several independent shops where you can buy you may find these from local fabric shops as well, but there are also specialists who will have locally made steel, and like the scissors and with the blades as well. So I would say treat yourself or get someone to treat you this time of year for something which is going to be an investment that will last for years. Next up is a subscription box. So it's a monthly subscription box. Some companies do run bi-monthly ones if you don't want to make that commitment every single month. Other places who run them, you can just buy the box as a one-off and you can cancel that subscription or at any time, and you will get a selection of fabrics and a pattern and maybe some notions in there as well. So if you're not sure what to buy somebody who loves fabrics in general and they're not too specific on what they like, this is a good way of they can then make something, perhaps a fabric they wouldn't have necessarily chosen for themselves. Now there are good and bad sides to that, but there are different levels of subscription boxes. You have a quick look and then see what grade of box. You can get one which doesn't have the pattern in it, it is just fabrics, or you pay a little bit extra, you can get the pattern as well as all the fabric in there as well. But that is something you could buy as a one-off gift, and then if the person really likes it, they could then continue on and join in with that subscription. So there are a few independents. I would say just search for sewing subscription boxes and you'll see that there are a few around. Gift idea number 3 is a gift voucher. If you're not sure what you would like yourself, or what the person you're buying for would actually like, their particular taste or that kind of thing, by buying a gift voucher, you're supporting perhaps an independent company, and then somebody has that money already allocated to that shop, so there's not like an expiry date, not an immediate one anyway. Now this is something I've actually bought for myself, I was given some birthday money, and rather than have the money sit in my bank account and get spent on like bills or grocery or something, I then bought myself a gift voucher because I knew there was nothing I needed at the time, but if I bought that gift voucher, that was always there. So when there's something I did want to make, like a dress or perhaps a pattern or like wintry like sweatshirting fabric, that sort of thing, I already had credit with that company because I had the gift voucher. And it actually worked out really well because I bought the gift voucher and so I didn't spend it immediately, and then that fabric shop actually had a promotional sale for one weekend only, and so because I already had the gift voucher, I didn't have to worry about whether I'd saved up and budgeted to join in with that sale and get something, because I already had that credit already there. So you'll find that most independent fabric shops who sell online will then also sell gift vouchers as well, and if not, you can email them and just inquire, and I'm sure you can buy credit with that shop. But that's a good idea for that if you're not sure what to get, because the person who receives it will be so grateful because they can spend that on whatever they want and just keep hold of it until perhaps a sale comes up. Then that money is going to go further than buying something at the peak time when everything is full price. Gift idea number 4 is to do with pressing. So you get really good results in your sewing when you press your seams, and if you're making a coat, that you get a really good press on the seams as well. Now this is a clapper. This is what I have. My dad actually made this for me, but you can buy these. This is solid wood, and when you when you use your steam iron to put on, say, like a wool coat or something like that, you press that down, that steam absorbs into the wood and it can then help get a flat seam. I have heard of people using these on knits as well, on jersey knits, to get a really good seam, so you're using the steam but the iron is not pressing on the fabric, so you're not getting any scorch marks because the wood does the job of the iron. So have a look. Have a look online at anywhere which does haberdashery. That you are paying for the postage obviously because you've got the weight of the wood, but it's really good. So I would say a clapper, but also a tailor's ham. Now a tailor's ham is something that I need, and one of these days I will actually get around to making one perhaps, or buying one which is already stuffed because they're filled with sawdust. But that will give you the pressing on the curve, and again when you go to press things like a sleeve from a shirt or anything on the round, a tailor's ham is a really good thing to have and really useful as well. So they are two in the same category of pressing tools. They are sold as separate items, so you can buy one or the other or treat yourself and get both. Next up is something that I would really like, which is basically, this video is what I'm recording to just email to my husband and then he can buy everything. This is my current seam ripper. Can you see that there? It is the one there we go. Check I'm back in focus. Yes, it's the one that came with probably a previous sewing machine, and it's the plastic one and it's really small. And what I would really like, because I've seen online, and I think that you'll really like them as well, is a wooden seam ripper. The ones I've seen, so this is like, you know, a couple of, maybe 2 fingers, that kind of thing. It's not very big at all. I've seen some wooden ones which have a longer handle, so you can get a really good grip, and the ends come out, you can turn them around and put them back in, and so you have a point turner as well. I think they have a little magnet in there, so you just flip them over and either you can rip open a seam or pull it out, turn it back in, and you can use that as a point turner. But the wooden ones, they just look really nice, and I've heard good things, you know, it gives you a really nice grip because they're thicker in diameter for what you get for one of these little cheapy plastic ones, and so you've got a better grip and it looks really nice as well. So I've seen some on Etsy, and I've also seen there's a website, I think they are just UK, but they may ship internationally, called Beyond Measure, and they source things from independent makers, and they have such an amazing range of things, like really nice things, little pin cushions and all sorts, like nice, like wooden sort of turned this, that and the other. So I will put their website down below in the description box. I'm not affiliated with them, but I just spotted them when I was on the search for wooden seam rippers, and they came up as one of my top search results. You can also get these on Etsy in a range of prices as well, but I would say a nice one, a wooden one, it's just extra special, and it probably comes in a nice bag or something as well. Gift idea number 6 may seem really odd to some people, and that is a tripod with a phone attachment on it. Bear with me, I'm not saying everybody should start making YouTube videos and be a vlogger or a blogger or that kind of thing, but it is a really useful tool because a lot of the sewing community do like to engage on social media, whether that be groups on Facebook or on Instagram. Now the best way I found to photograph your make is to having a tripod, because you can set your phone up on a time. Most phones will have a front facing camera. You can set that up on a timer. Your hands free then. I've tried taking photos with the phone in my hand to see what the fit is like on a garment, but when I'm holding it, that is blocking out, you know, my hand is in a funny position. You can't see the full layout of a garment. So even if you don't publish to social media, it's really good for seeing how your sewing makes are turning out. So if you want to see, well, how does the back fit? How does that hang? And rather than spend the whole time going like this, put yourself on a self timer and just stand there, and then it will take a shot of the back, and then you haven't got to rely on partners and husbands and things trying to take pictures when they're really not interested, because I know I'm not the only one. But they're relatively budget friendly. You can get some which will sit on a tabletop if you didn't want to go for a full one. Most tripods will pack up fairly small. The phone attachment, I think, is quite a universal one. It's not specific to iPhone or Android. It will just fit in, and it has a springy clip which just clips onto your phone, and then you can tilt that depending on the type of tripod you can get. Now obviously you can get tripods on Amazon, but you can also get them from eBay, from a local electrical store and other places online. So it's not exclusive just for Amazon. There are other places that you can get them, and they suit all different budgets. But if you just want to do it so you can look at how your hem is, and for your own personal use, you don't need to have to spend that much at all. Something that people wouldn't necessarily think of, but once you've got one, it can pack away, and then you want to like show your makes off and share them with the community, perhaps on Instagram or on Facebook. You've got that there. You can then, you haven't got to worry about having to like reach to press a button or something on a camera, or holding it in front of a mirror and that kind of thing. So it makes your makes look as best as they can, and that's what we want, to be proud of what we make and get that fit right as well. Next up is a sewing making kit. Now you can buy courses, you can buy online courses and gift those, but you can also buy kits which have like for making a coat. So some shops will do these online, so you can then order them and they will have the pattern and they will have the fabric for that particular project, so you know what you're buying. So it's not a mystery box like with the subscription boxes. You know that you're buying that specific pattern or that particular coat, and so everything is included in that kit, so it's one-off. So it's not like when someone has a pattern then they've got to try and source the samples and is the fabric suitable, because generally the shops who have those, who are selling them, they are selling the fabric which is the right weight for that pattern. They have done the legwork for you. They've taken the hard work out of it and researched what is going to work best for that garment. Another type of thing to buy is a bag making kit. Now I won a bag making kit through an Instagram just giveaway it was, so didn't even really have to do anything. And so that was with RJ Leather Studio. I'm not affiliated with them, but I had never heard of them before Instagram. Somebody tagged me in a post for theirs. I won their kit, and it was to make a leather clutch bag. I've actually got it upstairs now, but it was, I'll put a photo in. It was to make a leather clutch bag. All the leather, I'd never sewn with leather before. The leather was all pre-cut. It had all the notions and everything I needed in there, and full instructions of what to do. And so I found it really straightforward and a really good introduction to sewing with leather, which I never would have made. I'm not a bag maker, and I never would have thought to make myself a leather bag. But by having the kit, it then meant it held my hand step by step through the process. I didn't have to worry about cutting things out if I cut things out wrong, because it was already there, and it was a really quick make. I made it in an afternoon. It didn't take the entire afternoon. It was more nervous and wanting to take my, take a steady pace at it. But that is something extra special that you could buy for somebody. I've now been talking so long it's gone dark, so I had to just change my camera angle. So gift number 8 is actually a sewing book. Now you can get books for fitting and they are very specific, or you can get pattern books. Now I own the Tailoring Book, and that is a really good, it has so many good pictures in that for going through making sort of tailored coats and jackets and sort of structured garments with tailoring techniques. And because there's a lot of pictures in it, a lot of photos, it makes it an easier learning process. There is that one. There is also, I have written them down, sorry, I'm just looking. The other two I want to mention is the Cashmerette book, and that is Ahead of the Curve. Now that is a new one which has come out, and I think it's getting quite good reviews on that. And that is obviously, if you're aware of Cashmerette patterns, they include people with different cup sizes and plus sizes, but some of the patterns they introduced with a smaller size range as well, so it's not necessarily for plus size, it is quite size inclusive. And that is a really good one of typical adjustments, I think, and it includes patterns with that one as well. There is another fitting book, the third one I'm going to mention, and that is the Fitting Book by Gina Renee. Now that one came out fairly recently as well, and she does have free fitting guides on her blog, I think. I've had them on an emailed newsletter, but from the free ones that I've read, they're really good and they seem really good, so I'm quite interested myself to get my hands on a copy of her book. They have sewing books which include the patterns, so they're not necessarily about fit, but they are more about, you buy the book and you have a range of patterns. Some of those will then have a code, I think, so you can access a PDF copy of the patterns. Others may just have the patterns at the back that you have to then trace. I think it depends on the particular one that you're getting. Now, Tilling the Buttons have a range of books. There's also named patterns. They have Breaking the Pattern and Building the Pattern. And again, by the purchase of the book, you're then automatically having, I can't remember what it was, but a number of sewing patterns in that book. So compared with what they normally charge per pattern, it's quite good value. And then the third one I just wanted to mention is the So Beautiful book, and that is by Itch to Stitch. Again, that is a selection of patterns from Itch to Stitch. So if you like, if you've made one of this pattern company's patterns before and you quite like the way that they're set out, it works out quite economical to then buy their book, to then have access to all of those patterns within that collection. And generally they don't sell those patterns separately, you only get them through buying the book. Now I looked, and there is a website called bookshop.org, I think it is, and it supports independent bookshops. So rather than buying through Amazon, you can then search your well, I don't know if it's worldwide, but certainly in the UK, you can search for a local bookshop, put your postcode in, and if you want to show them some support, they can get a commission on your book, on your order that you're doing. But you don't have to go to the shop to pick it up. They will send your books to you. You can have your order sent directly to home, but you can nominate a shop to get a commission to support an independent bookseller. So I thought that was really good, and I only found out about that a couple of days ago. So I thought I would just share that with you, and I will put their website down below in the description box in case I've said the wrong name of the website. Gift idea number 9 is tickets to a sewing exhibition. Now I've had to look, and there are a few happening next year. You have the Knitting and Stitching show in the UK, there's also the Festival of Quilts. I also had to look in the States, and there was a couple coming up over there as well. So I'm sure that now things are opening up slightly more with vaccine things, so people are then holding events, whereas nothing happened in 2020. Now things are starting to sort of reopen again. So there are shows and exhibitions, and if you buy ahead, sometimes you can get a better deal on a price. You can get like an early bird ticket, but buying perhaps either one or a pair of tickets to somebody means that when it gets nearer to the event, somebody who actually wants to go, the person you're buying for, they are not spending their budget on the ticket's already bought for them. So that's more money for fabric and patterns and goodies and things like that. So I thought that's a nice day out, which you can then include a voucher for lunch or something as well, and it's a real treat for somebody to receive that. Now before I go on to gift number 10, don't forget to check out my stocking filler video, which I will link down in the description box below. Very budget friendly, 10 gift ideas to buy yourself or to buy somebody else who you know loves sewing. Now gift idea number 10 today is sewing themed jewellery. Now I've seen there are some really nice necklaces I've seen with scissors, bobbins, you can get tape measure, rings, and they're not plastic jewellery, they are some really nice quality. You can get them silver. So I would say if you know somebody who likes jewellery and loves sewing, that's quite a safe option. Or you could always like send somebody the link to the site and say you could pick something out. But I will put some photos, I will put some pictures on the screen of some of the things that I've seen. Etsy is really good, but I've also seen some local fabric shops or independent fabric shops which have some sewing necklaces. One was like rows of stitches in a little pendant, and that, I thought, oh, that was, you know, quite sweet to have a look at. I would encourage you to support some independent sellers this Christmas. Obviously there's nothing wrong, or you know, there is sometimes we want convenience, so there is nothing wrong with buying from Amazon if you so wish, but I just wanted to share with you some ideas of things that you can then get from other places, and they are more unique. So if you look on Etsy, you're then, that person you're buying from will be so over the moon that you're buying from them, and you'll have something handmade and just so unique. And I think as sewists, we appreciate that. We like it when people appreciate our work, and so that's one way of giving back and appreciating somebody else's. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you over in my stocking filler video, and then maybe another one in this series coming soon.